Shabbat Shalom. In this week's parasha, we read about Pharaoh having some very strange dreams. He dreams of 7 fat cows coming out of the Nile River, followed by 7 thin cows. The thin cows eat the fat cows, remain thin. Pharaoh wakes up. He's confused by this dream. He then has a second dream in which he sees 7 stalks of beautiful, full, healthy grains of wheat. He then finds 7 other grains of wheat, which are so decrepit and decayed that he's frightened by them. And the grain eats the weak grain eats the strong grain, or healthy grain, but remains thin. And he wakes up. He's completely confused by this dream. He talks to all his necromancers, his magicians, his dream interpreters, and none can answer his question. It is then that the waiter remembers, the butler remembers, that there was this Jewish boy, Joseph, who's in prison. Joseph is brought before the King Pharaoh. Pharaoh reveals his dream to him and says, "No, what do you have to say?" Joseph does 2 things. Number 1, he interprets the dream. He says to Pharaoh, the 7 cows and the 7 grains of wheat represent 7 years of plenty. Things are going to be fantastic in Egypt. Never before we're going to have so much plenty. But a time is going to come afterwards when there will be 7 years of famine, and they're going to decimate the country so badly that no one will remember that there were 7 years of plenty. Most people this time will pause, but Joseph continues and he says to Pharaoh, if it is good for Pharaoh, you need to prepare during the years of 7 of plenty. Prepare the storehouses. Make sure you have the grains there, the granaries full. So when the time of the famine arrives, you have what to do and what to give to your people, so you can protect them and provide them with the food and the sustenance that they need. Joseph is displaying a remarkable act of responsibility, of what it means to be in a job and in position of authority and responsibility. Not only does Joseph come to resolve, acknowledge what the problem is, he also comes with a way to resolve it and an answer to the problem. This is what an inspirational role model and Joseph was. That is the challenge for every single one of us. It is always quick. We're always quick to find the mistakes. We can always sit on the sides and point out and white-ant the organization, say this is problematic, that is problematic. But how many of us are actually willing to get our hands dirty, get up there and do something about it? How many of us will arrive at the boss and say, "Sir, boss, we've got a problem"? It is the ones who can say, "Boss, I see there's a problem and here is a solution," is the one that ultimately will get ahead. When Pharaoh meets Joseph for the first time, he looks beyond a Nar Ivri, this Jewish child that's been languishing in prison. He asks, why is this guy in prison? And he finds out, well, this man was accused of raping the wife of Potiphar. Was it substantiated? Yes, it was. No, it wasn't. But he's been in prison for all this time. Pharaoh says, I don't care about this. This is the man for the job. I need him now. And this raises another important issue. What happens when you have someone who is able to give you the answers to your questions, who is able to resolve your problem that you have at this particular moment, and then someone does a Facebook search, someone checks on an Instagram file and finds that this person has said something inappropriate, has done something wrong many, many years ago, unsubstantiated, unproven. Or maybe, even if the person did the wrong thing all that time ago, or said the inappropriate line, or had some comments about something that today is viewed as problematic, Joseph wasn't cancelled. Pharaoh looked and said, this is the best guy for the job. Yes, there would have been detractors. I'm sure there would have been. Those in Egypt would have said, how can you take a guy who's been sitting in prison and make him the viceroy of Egypt? Pharaoh goes, this is the best guy for the job. I'm not going to listen to the Lashon Hara, the gossip that you're going to tell me about him. This is the man I need for the job, and let's get it done. How many times do we find in the media cancel culture, destroying people's reputations because of things that said, things that they're accused of, things that happened in the past, which they may have been guilty of, they may not have been guilty of. They may have said something then which was innocent, but today is viewed as something problematic. There's unfortunately no statute of limitations in our world today. Everything is on the table. Anything that was said in the past can be brought up and can be used against you in today's environment. So Pharaoh provides an incredible answer to those who preach cancel culture. When you look at the person, say to yourself, is this someone that can help me now? Has this person paid his due for what happened in the past? Is this person a different person from the one that is then? And can this person help me? And when Pharaoh was able to answer all those questions in the positive, he said, this is the man, I'm appointing him. He changes his name. No longer will he be called Joseph, but rather Tzafnat Paneach. He gives him an Egyptian name. He appoints him as viceroy over Egypt. Egypt goes through an incredible period of growth, 7 years of plenty. And when the famine arrives, they are prepared for it. All thanks to Joseph, and all thanks to a Pharaoh who refused to listen to the voices that were nipping on the side. Much to think about. Shabbat Shalom.